You're watching the first official update of my $90,000 student loan payoff journey. After 5 years of waiting on student loan forgiveness, I'm finally launching my full force attack plan. With my credit cards paid off, this is my last debt standing, and I'm going to be breaking down my exact strategy, my starting balance, and my October progress. If you're feeling overwhelmed by your student loans and want a realistic plan, let's start this journey together. And if you're new here, my name is Rachel. I live in the Tampa Bay area. I rent this lovely apartment. I am an empty nester, both my kids grown, gone, doing their own things. I am a grandma to one that's here and one that's in my daughter's belly. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna be a grandma of two very, very soon. I'm also a dog mom. I'm a proud dog mom to a cute little girl named Scout. She is my world and my everything. She's 8 years old as of August, and I can't wait to see what this next year has in store for us. I'm a corporate employee. I earn $70,000 a year prior to taxes, paid off my car in 2023, paid off my credit cards in 2025, and now all I owe is student loan debt. I'm so excited that I'm going to start sharing more about my student loan progress now that we are on the road to paying these down or off or whatever the future brings for us. I'm just really excited, and I have a plan in place and mentally in my mind that I would like to happen. So I just thought we'd make a monthly update from now on, but I want to give a little backstory on how I even got into student loan debt and how it ballooned all the way to $90,000. I promise I'm going to try to keep this story short so this video is not super long. Back in 2006, when I was an army wife and a stay-at-home mom, I decided that I wanted to go to college, and I had seen so many commercials about University of Phoenix, and one, I didn't have very good self-esteem or self-confidence, and I never thought that I personally was going to be able to go to a traditional school and pass classes. Like, that's how low my self-esteem was. I did fine in high school. I was an ABC student, and I did really well in math. I was always an A student in math, and that's why I kind of went the route of getting an accounting degree. That back in 2006, I was like, I'm going to go to college. I don't think I can go to a traditional school. Life is too hectic being an army wife, and I didn't think I could pass the classes. Like, that says a lot about like who I was as a person, but also the person that I was married to, because they didn't also instill very much confidence in me or build my self-esteem up or make me think that I could do those things. I don't think he planted negative self-talk into me, but I just don't think that he ever boosted my self-esteem or my confidence when we were married. Long story short, I decide I'm going to go to University of Phoenix. They convinced me to go to University of Phoenix, Axia, junior college Axia. So I go to Axia, I do my 2 years. They convinced me that in order for them to help me find a job, dummy, because you have to find your own jobs in real life. But my naive, stupid self back in the day, in my early 20s, no frontal lobe developed. I was this teen mom, lack self-confidence, all the things, thought yeah, they're gonna help me find a job and I'm gonna do this and I'll be done before everyone else that's my age and stuff, which is literally so dumb. And I think also another reason I wanted to go to college is I thought that I was a failure becoming a teen mom, and I needed to make up for that so that way my parents would be proud of me. Why can't I ever just live my life for myself? So much self-discovery over the last 20 years, but also so much over this debt payoff journey that I've been on. So anyway, go to Axia College, go to University of Phoenix. I never thought that I needed the degree because I was a stay-at-home mom, but I did think once both of my daughters are in school, I'm gonna have all day free and I'll get a job doing something. I really like math. I'm gonna go to school for accounting. I'll do something in accounting, banking, or something. So I do that, and during the time that I'm graduating from University of Phoenix, because I did all 4 years, I did the Axia, their junior college, which is 2 years, and then I added another 2 years to get my bachelor's degree in accounting from University of Phoenix. During the time that I'm graduating is the time that I'm getting separated and divorced from the father of my kids. Have to figure out how the heck I'm going to support myself. I was a realtor. I became a realtor back in 2008, And also, that was the worst time to become a realtor. Like, I made a lot of dumb decisions. And I thought that I could, my parents always thought, like, I was a good salesperson, I guess, because I was always, like, a chatty Cathy. But honestly, maybe I just haven't found a product I love selling, but I haven't sold anything in my life. That's tragic. But I was like, oh, I need to actually have a stable income, so I need to figure out something else. Real estate isn't going to work. I'm a single mom now. So I'm like, okay, I have this degree. Now I'm going to be able to get a job. I apply so much, nothing happens. I parlay into property management. During my years of doing property management, which I did about 3 or 4 years of property management at apartment complexes, I decided I'm going to keep applying, trying to get these jobs with this degree that I have, because I really think that I can make so much more money. Like, obviously, probably not initially changing careers, but something else, and eventually I'll get there, because I'm thinking I need to support these kids and I just don't make enough money. And if it weren't for child support at the time, I don't know what I would have done. I was also on food stamps, child support, food stamps, and working all at the same time. And I was like, something's got to give. I've got to do something else. During this time, once I graduated from University of Phoenix, probably because I wasn't budgeting, and a lot of it comes back to budgeting. So even if I don't say it, everything comes back to because I never budgeted. And really, honestly, until last year, I really locked in. I budgeted before, like, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, but I never really locked in the way I really am right now and the way I started to last year. So I wasn't budgeting back then, so I just was, at least maybe I thought I was broke, or maybe it was because I wasn't budgeting. I never made a student loan payment. I must have put them on deferment, but I don't remember doing that, so I'm not quite sure. This is around 2010 or so, and then I work a few years in property management, decide like no one's going to take my degree seriously. In fact, I asked someone that I interviewed with what they thought of my online degree. They were like, basically, we don't take this seriously. But this is back in 2010. So then I was like, well, I need a real degree from a real school. So I go back to school, move in with my parents, with me and my kids, and I go to Western Carolina University. I do 2 years there. 2 years of my credits from University of Phoenix transfers. I do 2 years there and get enough to graduate with another accounting degree. Obviously, I'm not making any payments while I'm in school. I know I could, but like I said, budgeting, and also I was working part-time, sometimes one job, sometimes two jobs, and child support while I was in school. So, and I was taking out student loans. Let's not forget the student loans and any extra that I didn't put towards my tuition I was using to live off, which so dumb. Like, now that I'm older, I'm like, so many things I would change if I had to get student loans right now for school. So much I would change. But anyway, back on track. Go to school, University of Phoenix. I get out, I put my loans in deferment. I know this, I remember this. Do that for a while until I can get back on my feet after graduating and getting a job. I get a job and I work that for probably a year before I start making payments. I go into student loan repayment with the pay as you earn, making payments all the way from about 2014, 2015 through 2020 when Trump put everything on pause during lockdown. And then I wasn't budgeting because I probably could have made a lot of payments when they were interest free during COVID times. And trust me, I look back so much, I'm like, dummy. I put them on pause, obviously, like everyone else. And then during that time, a lot of University of Phoenix students were getting student loan forgiveness for certain years if they went to school there, because it was a predatory university. And I obviously do not have any of my email backup from back then because I used my student email account, but I remember getting promised that I would get a job or get interviews or get connections or something like that. Like, so naive and dumb to believe that. I don't have any of these emails, so I don't even know if I'm going to get student loan debt forgiveness. I'm still waiting on that. And during COVID lockdown, loans go on pause. I hear about the University of Phoenix forgiveness and I apply, and that was in 2023, August of 2023, and I'm still waiting for a decision. And I think I'll get a decision coming next year. So that's kind of another reason what spurred me to put my full force into getting a second job, paying off my credit cards, and then getting on this debt. 1, I want to be debt free. 2, I'm tired of living with student loan debt and it consuming my life, consuming my thoughts. This like elephant in the room, the weight of the world on my shoulders, like so much. I want to be done with it. I was like, okay, I need to get a second job. You guys were right in the comments for last year, told me to get a second job. And that's what I did. So now that the backstory is out of the way, what is the strategy going forward? What is my game plan for paying down or off my $90,000 of student loan debt? Let's get into it. I started October with a balance of about $90,300 of student loan debt. $22,000 of that was back interest. I currently have 2 student loans. I did have multiple student loans, but I did a consolidation a few years back. I don't even know, probably like 2016 or something. I did a debt consolidation with the servicer I was with. So instead of having like 10 student loans, I had like, 2. I had consolidated and I had subsidized and unsubsidized. Now that's what I currently have. Both of them have a rate of 6.5%, and both of them have different balances. My unsubsidized has the larger balance and my subsidized has the smaller balance. So I decided that I was going to pull $5,500 out of my high yield savings account. I didn't initially want to take anything out of my high yield savings account because I worked so hard last year to build that up to the almost 11,000 that was in there. But I was like, I'm looking at this mountain of $22,000 of back interest that if I don't pay off before they make a decision on my student loan debt forgiveness, I'm going to be facing a harsh reality because they are going to capitalize that interest. I need to freaking pay off this back interest before that happens because this is going to be a runaway train that I feel like I'm never going to get back. Pulled out $5,500. I put that onto my student loans. And I'm like, okay, now I have about $16,000 of back interest I want to try to pay down before it capitalizes. Hopefully, knock on wood, that we can do that. So my game plan is to make minimum payments of $1,600 over the next 10 months. Obviously, if I get a bonus, I know we get an annual bonus at work, but if I get anything, I'm planning on putting that towards my student loans. Any money I'm getting from YouTube and social media, I'm putting that towards my student loans. And if I do get a tax return, fingers crossed I will, then I'm going to put that towards my student loans. And so potentially I'm hoping not to be paying this back interest over the next 10 months, but to be paying it for a shorter period, and then I can figure out what I want to do once all the back interest is cleared. My minimum goal, $1,600 a month for the next 10 months to clear out the rest of the back interest. And then I do have goals, like I want to try to put more than $1,600, but that's my minimum goal. And that is kind of my game plan strategy going forward. And then once I get the back interest cleared, I am thinking about refinancing my student loans, if only if I can get a really great rate with like SoFi. That's the only one that I know about. I'm sure there's other student loan like lenders I can refinance with, but SoFi, you can lock your rate in, there's no fees, and you can refinance as many times as you want. So if I make a significant chunk, decrease in my balance, then I can refinance them. But because I would do that now, but because I'm waiting on student loan forgiveness, and once I know more about that, I may go ahead and refinance them at that time. Yes, basically when I do that, they will capitalize my interest with the new lender that I decide to go with. I won't be any more back interest. But if I can get a really good rate for a 5-year term and just kind of know that this is a good payment, this is a good rate, I only have 5 years, then I'm gonna probably go with that, because I have almost 10 years left until I can get student loan actual forgiveness for my 20-year repayment plan. And I just don't know if I can have it in me for another 10 years. I don't know if I have it in me for another 5 years, but if I make significant money off like social media or a good bonus 1 year or something, like, obviously I would love to put that towards my student loan balance, so that way I'm not paying for the next 5 years. But my plan is try to figure out what they're going to say about student loan forgiveness, pay down as much interest as I can until now, and then as soon as I hear back, I'm pretty much going to look at refinancing them. I want to see what my options are, at least, because already I looked at SoFi with my $90,000 balance before I started making any payments, and the rates were already cheaper. So I'm kind of thinking about going that rate, because I think I'm going to save so much time, energy, and money in the long run by refinancing and getting a better rate. And then as I continue to keep on this train of making my $1,600 payments every month, I am going to be able to refinance them again for a better rate and a lower term. So even if I have to initially refinance with a 20-year term, I can refinance again in like 6 months after making a significant chunk with my target paychecks and my paychecks from my regular job, and refinance for a lower term and a lower rate. My starting balance for October was $90,300, and my ending balance, combined with the payments that I've made, I've been making weekly interest payments, as well as the $5,500 that I pulled out of my high yield savings account. My ending balance for October, $83,348, which is so amazing, and I'm so grateful. I know that you guys are not sending me money, but you guys are sending me such good vibes, and you guys are keeping me on track, and I would not be here without you guys. Like, I'm sincerely so grateful for every positive and kind comment and encouragement that you guys have been giving me over this last year of my budgeting and debt payoff journey, because I've needed it, and you guys have really boosted my confidence to let me know that I can do this and that I will do this. Currently, I really don't have any word on any student loan debt forgiveness, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But as soon as I know, I will be making a video yapping to all of y'all about it, whether it turns out I get forgiveness or not. I am just going to be grateful either way that this period of kind of the waiting period is over and we can finally move on with our lives. So I don't know when it's actually going to come, but I do know in September 2026 is when I need to recertify my pay-as-you-earn repayment plan. So maybe by then they'll have a decision, maybe by January. I think my initial letter said something like January or February, but I know there's been so much legal stuff with student loan forgiveness, so I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but maybe we'll know sooner rather than later. But I will be updating you guys. Anyway, thanks for watching this. I love you. Let me know if there's any more questions, comments about my student loan journey, and I am happy to make another video, but I definitely want to make at least a monthly update of like my balance, kind of what I'm thinking going forward, because my plan changes every single moment. Yeah, that's just kind of where I'm feeling right now. So I love y'all, and I will talk to you later. Bye.